right, so we're gonna try Baby Shad. This is called Cajun Cricket. Listened into a couple podcasts. Some crappie fishermen from down south swear by the orange and chartreuse with a little fleck in it. That's exactly what this is. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I'm gonna start without a bobber and just try and free jig it down here. Looks like this would be a good place to start. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at this crappie right by that little brush pile. See if I can't just jig it into them. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's pretty cool. That was quick. Maybe them southern guys were right. That was about as fast as you could get. Ooh, that was a short cast. Caught my finger. Let me try that again. It's cool, man. I could see some fish just sitting in this little brush pile ahead of us. Just kind of like hanging on the surface. Sure, a float jig or float rig right here would be money. Maybe try one cast a little further out. I think they're just sitting on the edge of this. Yep, right off that little ledge. That's pretty cool. Try and throw them in deep enough water, it drops off right there. Man, I am like in a very uncomfortable spot. Problem is I can't really go down there because it's so steep that I'm afraid I'll fall in. Like one false like hook set and I'm in the wash. Ooh, something picked it up and dropped it. You know what? I think I got a float in my pocket somewhere. Yep. Let's try floating this sucker. Alright, we found some even taller grass to get snagged on. But I think there should be some fish on this side of it. Oh, look at how fast that was. Whoa. It's like over the grass and in the pan, right? Such a uncomfortable place to be fishing from, but the fish are definitely here. I see some on this little mud that's coming off the runoff of rain. Alright, I'm definitely getting ticks after this trip, but I found a little access point over here, so I'm gonna work it. Start over this way and work that little. Oh, look how quick that was. That's awesome. It's not a bad one. Tighten the drag a tad bit, but I don't want to go super tight because I could snap the line when it's that light. Man, that one hit it as soon as it hit the surface. It's funny, man. If you're on them, you're on them. If you're not, you're really not. I mean, let's see how quick that gets hit. Jeez, look at that. Does it get much better than that? That looks like a gill. I was gonna say that was definitely a different colored fish. I love them baby shads. This is the first time I've ever used this color. I'm usually more of like a natural color guy, but after listening to some of these podcasts of like guys that professionally crappie fish, pretty much crappie fish year round, and their belief behind why they like that. Oh, I pulled it out of his mouth. Why they like that color. Got him on the jig. That is awesome. Oh man, that guy on a little bit of twitch, man. That one's got a little darker color to him, but that's definitely a white. A white crappie. Funny, they're just sitting right on this little ledge right here. It's like a rock ledge. I mean, look at that. My God. They are fired up today. Really doesn't get much easier than this. I mean, I'm casting at max 8 feet, right? I don't know. Not really great with distance. I can't be more than 10. Oh, I pulled him on that. And the float's kind of nice if you're fishing some type of submerged structure you don't want to snag on. Because I could, in theory, man, they're just fired up. In theory, I could just jig this off the bottom, but my fear with that is getting snagged. That they're just sitting in those rocks. I mean, you can see the amount of rocks we're standing on. Picture that, plus, you know, trees and other down debris, and you know, you're getting snagged more often than you'd like. Oh, he took it and dropped it. It's funny though, once I get over that little ledge, man, it seems like you have a fish. Because a little further out it drops off, and they seem to be fish sitting on that really shallow stuff. Like, we were fishing super shallow. Like out there we're looking at 5-6 feet of water. Right where our float is like 2 feet. But they're just sitting in that shallow right now. My only theory, now this is just a theory because I'm not a huge freshwater guy, not a big lake guy, is the wind has been blowing this way for the last few days, and I feel like all that wind is driving, you know, smaller fish on this side of the lake. I mean, look at that, geez. I could see them just going nuts for it. That is so cool. I don't know if the camera catches that because it is kind of stained water, but if you focus on just right where the float is, I mean, you can literally see these like silver shadows coming up, and they're just one after another. Did you see that? Oh man, look at that. Holy smokes, look at that guy. Jeez Louise, man, that is what we're looking for. I want to handle this guy with as much care as I can. Look at that. That is a slab. Absolute slab. Let's get you back in there. That's like the size I'd keep to eat. To be honest with you, I don't trust this water. I'd end up probably getting some type of funky disease. I mean, I know there's like some water like alerts of this lake, so if you're gonna harvest some fish from a certain lake, look into, make sure there's no like water hazards, or they'll tell you about like chemicals and stuff that they find. To me, as good as crappie taste, man, it ain't worth that risk in my opinion. Typically, if I'm gonna harvest them, it'll be from a river or something like not a less stagnant body of water than a lake. At least these smaller lakes. Man, oh, pulled it at the wrong time. Try that again. Whew! They're just fired up right here. You see that? Man, that is just, they're, if I didn't pull the hook on those last 2 fish, I'd probably have 2 fish already right now. Like, look at that. Man, they're just, it's funny, they're getting it on the drop like that. Oh, I just saw that one swoop at it. There might be some smaller ones mixed in too, that if you see them pulling it, they might not be able to take it all the way. I'm talking like the 5-6 inchers. Whew, that one got it. Tell you what, man, I'm glad we tried something different. And I know we're catching fish there, but I'm gonna try a few casts. There's another like submerged grass bed over here. Might be some fish sitting along that. Yep, there are. He dropped it though. I don't know if you saw that. That one didn't though. Might have been the same fish. And the cool thing about fishing these shads, man, especially for crappie, is you don't really burn through many. I'm still working on some packs. Like, I just opened this pack today and they come with 18. I've had packs from last year that I fished for, I don't know, 10 or more trips, and I still have probably more than half the packs. You know, sometimes, I'm telling you, I think the one stretch in February last year, we used one baby shad for 3 separate trips, probably a total of 20 hours on the water. Never lost it. And in fact, what ended that streak was a big chain pickerel that absolutely smoked it and tore it apart. If you've ever caught them, man, their teeth are just like chainsaws. They destroy anything that's in their path. Unless you hook them on like the outside of their mouth or like outside of the jaw. If they get that in their mouth, it's pretty much done for. Especially the bigger ones. Man, this is like unbelievable fishing right now. Something just grabbed it and dropped it. Look at that. Man, that's pretty cool. I think some of these guys are just sitting in the rocks and just ambushing little bait fish that are getting washed over this way from the wind. They like it slower today, man. That's weird. A little bit more of a pause. And see, that's one of those things you just gotta adjust to what they're liking. Like that one hit it as it was stationary. Maybe stationary's the way to go. Pitch it right there and won't move it for, I don't know, I'll count to 10 in my head and then give it a little pop. Tell you what, we just missed out on a monster sitting in those weeds. I mean, it hit it just sitting right in between. But it's such an uncomfortable area because it's, if we hook something, we're gonna have to skip it over these weeds without hooking ourselves. You know, I'll try to go further away from it and work into it. Oh, dropped them. Man, that guy hit it right on that little ledge. Right there is where we got the hit. Oh, look at that. Came back for it. Oh. Oh. Poor guy. Oh, let's get you back in. Oh. Water. There we go. Sorry, buddy. Whoa. Probably help if I had the bail open. That one, there might be a few right there because I swore I saw something hit it before that fish got it. Could be a couple on that little ledge. Try it again. Oh, on the jig. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of tapering back from my hook sets because they got the name paper mouth for a reason. I mean, look at that. They have extremely paper thin jaws. So if you come out here trying to set it like it's a tuna, man, you're gonna end up losing more fish rather than catching more fish. That one, as soon as that hit the water, had a hit. Look at that. Son, that's a good one. It's a little crappie hole right there. I mean, that's probably borderline slab, I'd say. And I mean, they're definitely structure driven, because all the fish we're finding right now are sitting tight to submerged timber and rock walls. Where I was fishing earlier, which was like a lot deeper with less structure, did not seem to have as many fish, if I'm being honest with you. I'm glad I went exploring. Man, as soon as I hit that little point. That is one of the things. Crappie fishing could be boom or bust, man. Today, you're getting to see the boom aspect of it, but not all days are like this, where you just literally get a bait there and you have a fish. I mean, there's days you really, really got to fight to get some bites. Point. I must be hitting that little structure just right, because there's multiple fish just sitting on it. See, I might have pulled that fish off. Try that again from right there. Look at that. It's like they have to be sitting stacked on top of each other right there. That one's got some weight to him, man. Not very much length, but a little fatty. All right, go back to over here, work some of that structure. Haven't really worked this area in a while. Just kind of focusing on my right. Oh, there's definitely some fish still here. Look at that, man. It's like just one twitch is all you really need. And like, these baby shads are so underrated for the amount of action they have. I mean, just look at the amount of wiggle that has, just me shaking it. Imagine one jig is just enough motion to get these things fired up. Sometimes they're hitting it right on that first drop as it's falling down like that. That was a hit right there, but I missed it. There's another hit. They're definitely hitting it more on the drop. All right, last cast of the day. I could sit here all day catching these guys, but it is just, it's hard to want to leave fish when they're biting, but my time is up. At least we have a fish to end the day. Cool little crappie. All the equipment that I use in today's trip will be in the description down below. If you ever have any questions, just feel free to comment, all right?